ProPublica has brought to light this story. It's a devastating story of a black educator that was getting run out of two different towns by angry white folks as if it's 1957 because they're upset about the position that she had and it was looking to do her job. The story is extensive, you should check it out, but let's get some background first about all the things that happened to this particular woman, because her name is Cecelia Lewis. This is the job. She was asked to apply for Georgia School District's first ever administrator job devoted to diversity, equity, and inclusion, and that's following input from students and parents of color. Parents of color, keep that in mind about parents that were there and what they didn't get from this. So Lewis was she was a middle school principal in Maryland at the time, but then she signed on to this new position in Georgia's Cherokee County, and that's a predominantly white suburb of Atlanta. One day she got a call from an official in her new school district. This is how it went down. The caller told Lewis that a group of people in a wealthy neighborhood in the northern part of the county were upset about what they believed were her intentions to bring CRT to Cherokee County. But don't worry, the district official said, "We just want to keep you updated," is what they told her. At that point, she didn't even know what critical race theory was, this particular now potentially new administrator for this diversity group. So the following month, inside of a golf course clubhouse, dozens and dozens of parents from across the whole county, they showed up and assembled for a lesson in how to use the school board meetings to fight back against CRT. In other words, be one of these annoying, disruptive people that doesn't know what the hell they're talking about, but then definitely wants to voice all kinds of opinions that Sean Hannity and Tucker Carlson told them. So one presenter, a local paralegal named Noel Kahanian, leads the nonprofit Protect School Health Georgia, which aims to educate on harmful indoctrination, including comprehensive sexuality education and gender ideology. She emphasized how to grab attention during upcoming school board meetings. Be sure to capture video of them addressing the board, or even consider hiring a professional videographer. It's good in case Tucker Carlson wants to put you on air, is what she said. It really helps. Then the group focused their attention on what to do about Cecelia Lewis. They griped over the district's decision to hire her over a quote unquote, a local candidate there. After this meeting, the parents wouldn't let up. She received letters calling her a black Yankee and was falsely accused of posting Marxist ideology online. Of course, they ultimately just said, you know, we don't want you here, and we don't want you to push us to find out what will happen if you come here. So 2 days after that meeting in the clubhouse, the school board then received the first of 100 letters demanding that she be fired. So the people upset about Lewis's hiring were claiming to have spotted her around Cherokee County and were sharing with one another her supposed locations. Lewis, however, was still in Maryland. And on that same day, following an increase in social media posts, emails, and phone calls complaining about Lewis and CRT, the district installed metal detectors and assigned extra security at the county building where school board meetings are to be held. So it sounds like some violence is coming, sounds like some angry things are happening, all because a new position was put forward and a bunch of folks were lied to and are now moving towards violence. So the school board meeting, which Lewis was watching online, it was overrun with angry parents. And without warning Lewis, the same superintendent who hired her announced that she would be canceling the diversity, equity, and inclusion plan. And then one black woman spoke in favor of the decision to hire Lewis. That's when the crowd gathering outside began beating against the building's windows and yelling. Watch this. So of course the school board caved. They voted 4-1 with 2 abstentions to pass an anti-CRT and anti-1619 project resolution, but the crowd was still riled up. Of course, that's not what they wanted blood. One man in the crowd screamed, "I'm furious," and another declared, "We're gonna hunt you down." Students were crying at it. That had to be taken out because they didn't know what was going on. They definitely knew some violence was about to happen though. The administrators then asked Lewis if she would consider a different position in Cherokee, but she turned them down after all the vitriol and the threats that she'd received. This is just half of the story, you guys, because as I said, she got run out of multiple counties. Let's first talk about this first instance because they're going after, we want to stop at the CRT because there's a diversity board that's been put forward, which apparently this county really, really needs.
Yeah, so let's just be honest about who those folks are. All the parents you saw in that video are the new Ku Klux Klan. So she doesn't even know what CRT is, let alone plan to teach it. When they asked her, she thought it was about cultural relativity or something along those lines. And so They're like, oh, we don't care, you're black. We don't want you here, you're black. We assume you're gonna teach certain things because you're black. You tell me you're not gonna teach it, I don't care, you're black. So all these racist Klan members right there get together like, don't hire the black person, don't hire the black person. I mean, how are you not the world's worst racist? You monsters. Oh no, I don't want my kids being taught that maybe black people were discriminated against, okay? I don't want it. I don't want a black teacher teaching them. Okay, if you don't want a black teacher teaching your kids, you are the definition of a racist. Let alone when you say things like, we're gonna hunt you down. We're gonna hunt you down? That's exactly what the Klan said. She made the mortal mistake of going down to the South as a black person. And look at them, they're all egged on by Tucker Carlson. Oh, we gotta get this on tape for our Klan leader. The Grand Wizard's gonna be so happy. And probably Jimmy Dore and Glenn Greenwald will come on and go, oh yeah, no, they're right, they shouldn't hire any black people. That's what the left believes, yeah, Okay, so we got a bunch of disgusting pigs on Tucker Carlson's show that is pushing out this poison into America every day. And then you get all these riled up Klan members going, oh, the black teacher, we're gonna hunt you down, black teacher. Okay, you guys are disgusting racists. I'm very clear, Jackson.
So, obviously we know that this is the end result of continuous propaganda, not only from networks like Fox News, but also we know the type of, positions that Ron DeSantis has, how he revoked dozens of math books for supposed critical race theory examples, but also, one of the things that the article from ProPublica pointed out was really demonstrating how together the right wing is and how really they come together through fear so strongly. In fact, since January of 2021, legislators in 40 states have proposed or passed anti-critical race theory bills. 14 public school employees have been ran out, 6 of them were black, and also 900 school districts have been targeted by anti-critical race theory groups from September 20th to August 2021. So again, all of this constant grandstanding and constant positioning leads to, as Shank just pointed out, the continued rise in just the bubbling racism and overall fear that ultimately brings the right wing together. And I wanted to point out one of the most important quotes to really just drive this home. One of the letters that one of the parents sent to Cecilia Lewis, or to the school board rather, about Cecilia Lewis, she pointed out how the white population was so much bigger than blacks and Latinos. And she said, are we now in a country that's going to cater only to a handful of people? Bingo, that's all this is about. They're afraid of the establishment levers changing. And again, the constant propaganda is only just making this more and more of a hot issue that's gonna get worse.
There's a couple of comparisons here. When you saw that crowd trying to beat on the walls and you see it in color, harken you back to desegregation in America when you saw all those mothers, fathers, teenagers, and children running up on black folks that were then forced to go to some of these schools that were desegregated, and they said the same things. We're coming to get you, we're gonna hunt you down, the sun better not go down on your ass, because that's the way these people work. It's no different than that. All it is now, it's in color. So the other second half of this, you guys, because she was also hired later on, and she left this particular position, and she was hired for a social studies supervisor role in another school in the county, that over from Cherokee County, a whole different school here. So the same Indian parents got wind of this hiring and then came over and said that they're gonna do something about that. And Cecilia was appalled. So she said, I did nothing but showed up to work, signed a contract, agreed to do what I was asked to do on the job description. And yet again, I'm getting attacked. So this particular school district gave her a menial task, wouldn't allow her to send emails, was just basically holding her there like maybe this will blow over, who knows what their plan was. But just after a few months, she submitted her resignation there because of the harassment and she moved on back to Maryland. She says, I'm done with these folks. The parent group that had rid her of these 2 counties bragged about it as an accomplishment and used it as a rallying call to even more parents. So let's build up this hatred. And somehow Cecilia is still optimistic about the future and when it comes to teachers. Let's watch her last thoughts.
This is a heart business. This is a hard business, but it's so worth it. And I just hope that educators around the world who are being attacked and not question, it's okay to question, right? Lead with the question, but know that you're valued and the impact, the difference that we're making No one can take that away from us. They can yell at all they want. They can accuse you of whatever, as long as you are standing upright in best practice and what's best for kids. You know, we're going to be okay.
And this is what throws me even more than all this. After all that, she has to be the one to be the bigger person and say, you know what, it's gonna be okay. Things are working out. It's not a heart, it's a heart business. And all of this goes into then being the better person. But I guarantee they'll still say, look at these rabid, racist, reverse racist black folks trying to do something to our country. The bloodthirst and the blood dripping from their teeth just doesn't change that. But they'll continue to try and change that narrative.
Yeah, and now I'm gonna remind you guys that the right wing says the biggest problem in the country is what? Cancel culture. They just got her fired from 2 different, for the first job, and then they chased her out of town on the second job. Why? Because she was black. That's the only reason. She doesn't teach critical race theory. Her job has nothing to do with that, especially at the second school. In the first school, the administrators are at fault for not realizing that they live in a town filled with Klansmen. So they were trying to do the right thing and do diversity as part of the curriculum. Oh, like, hey, there's other people in the world. There's black people, there's Asian people. You're gonna run into them at some point. And you know what? You shouldn't just attack them because of the color of their skin. And the town said, no, we wanna teach our kids to be racist. So we'll lead by example. You know where they got together the first time? Golf course. So the new Klan doesn't have hoods, and it gets together at golf courses, and they showed their kids through their example of their own racism and hatred. If you see someone black, attack them and try to ruin their lives. So it's disgusting on every level. They love cancel culture, and you know the Klan loved cancel culture too. That's what lynchings were. You want to talk about cancel culture, okay? The right wing started all of it, all of it. Every single thing that they ever accused the left of, guaranteed they did it in spades. Oh, minorities are lazy, they don't even want to do their own work. Said the guys who had slaves to do their work for them. The world's laziest, most hateful people. That's who the South was, and we were gonna just teach history and say, but hey, things got better and it's wonderful, look at Atlanta, etc. And it's the capital of so many things. Nope. Turns out that's how the South still is in a lot of places. And I would never live there. And they'll say, oh, we don't want you. I know, because you say, oh, you were born Muslim, look at him, he's proud. We don't want you anyway. We don't like foreigners. I know this because you're racist. And I don't want my kids exposed to poison that the new Klan spreads all across the country. And thank you, Tucker and Donald Trump, for poisoning half the country to be vicious, open racist again.
Yeah, and of course, you know, just the education about what this country's been through, what people are capable of doing to each other, and how we can learn from it. That in and of itself, that's the racism. But you know, the irony in it all is, you know, when these people, again, how organized and together they are, but it's all on the backs of ignorance. Because they truly do believe that critical race theory is some type of propaganda against them. It's gonna make their kids think less of themselves in some type of way. But they actually do believe it, they unite under it, they vote under it. And you know, as you pointed out, not only do they try to get people canceled, but they also do it with the threats of violence that they carry out. So that's what we're dealing with.
One last thought really fast. They say black folks need to get a job, take care of your families. How come they don't do anything? And then you run people out of their jobs. Black folks are so violent. We're gonna hunt you down. The reality doesn't have to match the rhetoric. As long as they got enough idiots that follow it and are hateful enough, they will sell their souls because the racism is that important. Keep it real.